What's up, players? It's your boy Miguel here. Welcome back to the TPC Weekly Roundup, episode number 20, where we highlight the biggest games and stories of the previous week. If this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell to stay all the way in the loop with everything Player Circle. If you're a faithful subscriber, appreciate you. Let's get into it. Now you know we had to start off the show talking to Emoni Bates. The star made headlines when it was announced that he would join Jalen Duren in team final at the Hoop Group Southern Tip-Off. Talk about a super team. I had to reach out to my guy Justin Delaney of NJ Hoop Recruit, who traveled down to VA to catch the action. Check out our conversation. What's up, players? It's your man Miguel Rodriguez here, and I got my guy NJ Hoop Recruit in the building. How you feeling, brother?
I'm doing good, man. You talk about a full circle moment. I mean, it's pretty dope, you know what I mean, to see us both on this platform. But I'm good, man. Appreciate you extending the invite. Appreciate you having me. Definitely looking forward to chopping it up with you.
Most definitely. So there's a lot of history between us, guys, in case y'all don't know. Yeah. That's for another day. Let's get straight into it. You was at Hoop Group Southern Jam Fest. What was the atmosphere like in the gym?
Yo, atmosphere was crazy, bro. So obviously, you know me, I'm from Jersey. So I left Friday, like mid-morning. And one thing with Virginia, you never know when you're going to run into traffic. So I literally got there with like 10 minutes to go before the first game. And if you've ever been to Boo Williams, they got like a pretty big parking lot. So off rip, I pull into the venue, and you know what I mean, cars parked on the grass, cars parked on top of rocks. Like I knew from the rip it was going to be a movie. So I get in there. Naturally, the first big game of the night was a team final versus Virginia Playmakers, and it was a really competitive first half. But energy was unmatched. I mean, talk about standing room only. I mean, you know, the bleachers were filled. The baselines were filled. You had people on top of people, you know, behind the benches. Like literally all eyes were on court one. Obviously, you know, Emoni Bates, team final, Jalen Duren, Justice Williams, Corey Floyd, Ortega, all them joining up. It was comparable to like, you know, I mean, LeBron's first game in Miami. But the environment was electric. Shout out to Hoop Group. Shout out to my guy Eric Kessler for all the hospitality. Definitely a top 5 game or experience of the year thus far, for sure.
So let's dive deep. Let's dive deeper into that team final. How did Emoni Bates look out there with his new team?
It was an interesting experience, and it's funny because I talked to a few people about it over the course of the weekend. And from my perspective, you know, Emoni, he's always kind of had his own team, you know. So this was really the first time he came into a situation where, you know, it wasn't, and not to say it's always about him, but let's call a spade a spade. You know, the team is called Bates Fundamental. So, you know, it's pretty much his team. So from my perspective, I thought it was a pretty unique opportunity for him to show, you know, it doesn't need to be all about him. You know, he can coexist with other big names. First game, he came off the bench, you know, just because they, you know, I would have done the same thing. It doesn't send the right message to have, you know, a kid whose first game with the team starting. But he looked good. Managed to get it going, you know, the latter end of the first half, as well as the majority of the second half. You know, was getting to the basket pretty much at will. He hit a couple jumpers, a couple of dunk attempts. He looked good, man. He looked, you know, he looked like he belonged, and he showed that he could coexist and compete with other big names on the court, which, you know, in my opinion, was most important.
I can't end this interview without asking you a New Jersey specific question. What's one guy in Jersey who you think is flying under the radar but is soon to break out?
So I'll give you a few, and these are guys, you know, they just come to mind because I had exchanged DMs with them in the last day or so. Not to say, you know, other guys don't impress me or, you know, make impressions, but let's see, who don't get the rep they deserve. Dominic Barlow, he wasn't there this weekend. He's a kid that plays for the Wrens. He's actually reclassed into a class of 2022. but his stock has been like just ascending over the last few months. So he's definitely one that, in my opinion, doesn't get the recognition he deserves. Aaron Bradshaw, he missed the first couple of years of his high school career. He plays for Camden, also plays for Scholars. He had a really big weekend. He's got potential written all over him, 7 foot. He showed this weekend he's got the ability to hit the long ball, which in my opinion is going to pay some pretty significant dividends for him. And, he's just scratching the surface. Again, he missed the first 2 years of high school ball. So he's really, just getting acclimated to the game. So Dominic Barlow, Aaron Bradshaw, and then another one who comes to mind who I don't think gets the proper recognition with the freshman class is Tahad Pettiford. He plays for Hudson Catholic, currently playing with the New York Lightning, or New Heights Lightning, as they're currently called. But he's another one who flies under the radar, and in comparison to his peers, in my opinion, and it may be a distorted perception, but in my opinion, I don't think he gets the recognition and the props that he deserves. So those are 3 that come to mind. I could ramble off, all day, because, in general, I feel like New Jersey doesn't get, the recognition that they deserve. But those are 3 that come to mind just based on, conversations that I've had in the last 24 to 48 hours.
Most definitely. So Just, man, I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Give people their social media where they can contact you at.
Oh yeah. First things first, njhooprecruit.com. We're on Twitter, twitter.com/njhooprecruit. We're on Instagram, instagram.com/njhooprecruit. YouTube, youtube.com/njhooprecruit. We have the merch out there popping. I got to get me a Player Circle hoodie too. We got
to change some stuff.
Absolutely. But follow me on pretty much every social media at njhooprecruit. Miguel, appreciate you having me on, and we're going to talk soon.
Most definitely. So players, there you go. See you next week. Peace.
A milli. That's how much Scoot Henderson's contract with the NBA G League is worth. The 17-year-old announced that he will be foregoing his high school senior season and college and be turning pro instead. With the move, the 5-star recruit becomes the youngest professional basketball player in American basketball history. He will spend the next 2 years in the NBA G League with the Ignite team and be eligible for the 2023 draft. What do you guys think? Good move? Bad move? Let me know in the comments. This past weekend, the Player Circle partnered with future NBA lottery pick Jonathan Kuminga for his first JK Day in OCP Park in Queens, New York. Some of the top young talent in the tri-state area was in attendance, like 2024 recruits Dwayne Pierce and Dante Green. In the New York Rens vs. Rens scrimmage, China's Quinn Fang Peng took home MVP honors. The big is extremely mobile and athletic and displayed an impressive offensive skill set. There was also a girls' high school game and a New York vs. New Jersey All-Star game. Overall, it was a great community day in Queens, and the Player Circle is happy to be a part of it. This week's Player Circle spotlight is Sean Stewart, 2023 forward from Windermere, Florida. He currently runs with Each One Teach One on the AAU circuit and has been tearing up lately. Fresh off an offer from Stanford, Sean was named one of the standouts at last weekend's Circuit League stop at Dallas, Texas by Pro Insights. Sean really is a dynamic player. Standing at 6'8", he handles the ball extremely well, has a silky smooth offensive game, and defensively he blocks everything. Looking forward to Sean's continued growth. Keep doing your thing, player. There you have it. That's a wrap on episode 20. That's a milestone of the TPC Weekly Roundup. Be sure to like the video, comment some fire emojis if you watched the whole thing, share the video with a friend. That's really the best way for us to continue growing this channel. Follow us on all social media. Check out the merch. Until next week, peace.
So just chill till the next episode.